The Rams have a dominant win versus the Jacksonville Jaguars out there at Wembley Stadium in London, England. Thank frickin' God. Thank the football gods, everyone, that the Rams played well. But hey, how did these Rams dominate these Jaguars? Well, me and Mark will talk about that next on this post-game reaction episode here on the Rams Up Podcast Network. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Rams Up Podcast Network. I'm Ian. Mark will be joining us shortly. And hey, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like this video, turn on the notification bell. And if you're on the audio only or podcast only side of things, hey, share this podcast with all your friends. Guys, any of those options helps the channel out tons, helps other Rams fans to see our content. And hey, me, Mark, me very much appreciate it. But yes. A great early game that went phenomenally well for the Rams as the Rams win 35-7 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this was an early game as I'm out here in Los Angeles. It was a 6:30 a.m. kickoff time. Mark is also in Southern California and also a 6:30 a.m. kickoff. But I'm sure many of you who are outside of California, the West Coast, the time wasn't so gnarly to wake up and watch this game. But I'm glad that the Rams players did not let the jet lag, the time difference, stop them from playing some freaking awesome football. But hey, because of this time difference, because both me and Mark had tons of different priorities later in the day, we weren't able to officially sync up and record together. But hey, Mark did get a snippet when he had some time, and he had talked about his thoughts after the game. So let's get to Mark first, and then I'll share my thoughts overall with the game. So, hey, stay put, stay tuned for Mark's reaction, and then hang around if you want to hear mine as well.
Hey, Ram fans, what's going on? Mark from Rams Up here, and I dropped a quick reaction video, a short on YouTube earlier this morning, and piling on here a little bit. Ian's drop here with the post-game reaction, some additional thoughts on this big win by the Rams. Finally, a stress-free win, and Stafford's big day. That was the big takeaway for me. Is he playing the best football of his career? I mean, he had one high throw to Devontae Adams again, but other than that, pretty spot on. And Puka Nakua, I made a joking text to my special assistant, maybe it's a great time to put him on the trading block, and I'm totally kidding, but really impressive that the Rams can have a bunch of guys step up. And by the way, the Rams had 12 running backs, wide receiver, tight ends available in this game, and all but two, Tutu Atwell and Ronnie Rivers, had a reception, and Tutu did draw a pass interference call. So big team effort without Puka. And how about Mumfield and Ferguson? In our Saturday morning roundtable, Scott had circled Mumfield as his guy that was going to step up and make an impact, and Farbode said it was going to be Terrence Ferguson, and they both nailed it. And it was nice to see both these guys get their first NFL touchdowns. And, Higbee had a couple of drops in this game, and I don't know if it's just the rain, but I'm sorry, it's time to get Ferguson more involved in this offense. And I think it's slowly happening. So good things on the horizon for Terrence Ferguson, I think. And, as well as the Rams appeared to play on offense and defense, special teams had a couple of chinks in the armor there. The Jags, man, really question what type of football team this is. So up and down. This is the same team that went into Santa Clara and beat the 49ers, and they were just killing themselves all day long. And I have to say, as I mentioned in a quick reaction, if you're a Jags fan, you're not going to be happy with the refereeing in this game. It was pretty pitiful. A lot of breaks seem to go the Rams' way. And, we complain when they go against us. And you just got to recognize when we are the beneficiaries of some bad refereeing, in my opinion. But as our Jags insider shared the other day, Trevor does not throw a friendly ball, is off schedule, timing's not good, not real accurate, and you saw that all day long in this game. And I thought the Rams, if there was a game the Rams were going to lean on the run, in the rain in London, I thought this would be the one. And when are we going to learn? When am I going to learn that's not how Sean McVay rolls? He was leaning on the pass all day long. They had a possession deep in their own end there, and I thought for sure they were going to try to run it out of there. Three passes and a punt, but hey, we can't bemoan these heavy passing attacks when we rode Stafford's shoulders this day to a big win to get to 5-2. What a way to roll into the bye. 2 straight wins, solid wins. Well, against the Ravens, I can't say it was a big offensive win, but the defense has played really well these last 2 games. The offense showed out here against the Jags for a big 35-7 win. We went into the game with 2 straight defensive shutouts in the second half. Not 2 straight, 2 defensive shutouts in the second half. Almost pulled it off again. This team is riding high, going to come back with Puka healthy, hopefully against the Saints. Good chance to get to 6-2 before we go up to Santa Clara for another NFC showdown with the 49ers. Great day to be a Ram fan. Pretty good effort, solid effort on all sides of the ball. And Joshua Carty, 5 for 5, 5 for 5 on his point afters. Looked really solid. Split those uprights. So let's celebrate our small victories there. All around, great win for the Rams. Back to Ian.
Well, everyone, hey, there's Mark's thoughts. And hey, shout out to Mark for getting a quick reaction. And I know he had a lot of busy things to do on this Sunday as well. So, hey, here I am now, a little bit after the game, probably a lot after, truthfully, as had time to digest, sit on it, think about it, and let's break this game down. But I think before we get to some of the nitty gritty quarter by quarter, guys, this win was so freaking needed. As again, the Rams win 35-7. As man, I was worried about this game. Look, I'll call myself out. I have no problem with this. I picked the Rams to lose this game. I was worried about the time change. I was worried about them not being in London. I was worried about Liam Cohen being a right-hand man to Sean McVay and knowing his tendencies. I was worried about the kicking game, and I was worried about the struggles on offense where they go and have had seriously long stretches in ball games where they just do not execute. Blocking, penalties, quarterback maybe miss a big throw here or there, even though Stafford's an elite quarterback. We'll talk about him and what he did today. But I was worried about it. And I really thought all those things from what we've seen through these handful of games thus far. And I just thought, man, Sean McVay is going to have to really change everything that he does, because if he goes in with the same game plan like we've seen all these weeks leading up to this game, I was worried about it. And I thought the Rams offense, at least, would not be productive enough, and the kicking game would be a letdown again. So happy to be wrong on that. So happy to see the Rams absolutely kick the Jaguars' asses, and that was nice to see. But how about some other super positive? Hey, Matthew freaking Stafford, everyone. I mean, geez Louise, the guy is such a baller. Hasn't been around that long, but he's already 5th all-time in passing touchdowns for a Ram, right? 108. Norm Van Brocklin, the Hall of Famer, is ahead of him. So was Mark Bulger, Jim Everett, and Roman Gabriel, the former MVP. So that's not that many away for Stafford to eventually be number 1. Let's see how many more touchdowns he can get this season. Hey, the way he's playing, I would love to see him back for at least one more year, no matter how this 2025 season ends. And I think he could finish number 1 all-time within the next 2 years for passing touchdowns as a Ram. I think it's very obtainable. And for him to be top 5 where he hasn't been a Ram very long at all, pretty dang cool. I mean, I'll call it what it is. He's the best Rams quarterback in this team's history for what he's done, for what he's meant, for the weight on his shoulders that this franchise, coaches, play caller Sean McVay leans on him and, you know, wants him to be. He's been everything. I don't think it's a debate. Shout out to Roman Gabriel's MVP. Shout out to Jim Everett for the good years earlier in the good Rams era. Hey, Mark Bulger, he was part of the dark days in St. Louis, but he produced. Van Brocklin, NFL champion before, Super Bowls became a thing. And now Matthew Stafford is Super Bowl champions in there. So we're so lucky to have him. I mean, guys, the dude only threw for 182 yards. That's incredible for the amount of touchdowns he had, as he tied Jared Goff for the most passing touchdowns as a Ram. He's got to get 6 to have that number 1 spot and hold it by himself. But hey, 21 of 33 with a passer rating of 117.7 based on the classic NFL passer rating, right? I know there's the NFL one, and then there's the ESPN one that's only, 1 through 100 or 0 through 100. But this is the classic passer rating where, around the 125 range is like a perfect game. So for him to have 117, absolutely freaking phenomenal. And then shout out to Sarah Shop from ESPN. She has a great, stat tweet every game or, every once in a while when something cool pops up. And an excellent note from ESPN Research, Barshop says on Twitter X, Matthew Stafford is the third QB in NFL history to have 5 passing touchdowns in a game, in 3 different decades, everyone, regular season or postseason. Joining the GOAT, Tom Brady, joining another former Rams great, Kurt Warner. Stafford did it in 2009, 2011, 2012, 2015, and then now in 2025. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. What a cool stat. Good on Sarah Barshop for, digging through with her ESPN research people and getting that one out of the bag of the history books there. I mean, Matthew Stafford is an all-time great quarterback. He is arm talent, his age, how long he's been fantastic. And hey, what a different universe we would all be living in if Matthew Stafford was never a Detroit Lion or if Matthew Stafford became a Ram sooner. But we live in a good timeline where Matthew Stafford is our quarterback still, Super Bowl champion, and leading a team, carrying the offense on his shoulders, it feels like, and is still balling out at 37, pushing 38, almost 40 years old, not that far away. I mean, absolutely crazy, everyone. The dude is a baller. So how about something else that was pretty dang cool? And I thought this was kind of funny, by the way. Shout out to the Rams media team. Hey, the Rams only spent 33 hours in London, England, and they scored 35 points. That's pretty dang funny. As the Jacksonville Jaguars were out there all week, enjoying England, practicing out there, getting used to the weather, the time change, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, the Rams with Reggie Scott, with other team leadership, health and fitness, dietitians, all that fun stuff that, can be forgotten about at times that all matter into player performances and coaches too. They said, no, let's stay in Baltimore, Maryland, and then we'll just fly out to London, the day before like we would any other game. And we're just going to show up and play. No London mini vacation, no hanging out there in the country. They treated it like a business venture where they were like, hey, guys, we're just going to show up, play ball, go home. That's it. And it worked out beautifully. And many people criticize it. I didn't know how it would go. Many people were against it. Rams fans, other professional media members, NFL aficionados / analysts. But again, 33 hours they were in London and they scored 35 points on offense. And hell, the Jacksonville Jaguars are only 7. I mean, that worked out pretty dang cool. But a lot of that had to do with the defense, everyone. This defense is elite. And we have our issues with the outside corner play, how inconsistent it could be. But I thought they had a good day. And on top of that, 7 sacks by the front 7, 11 quarterback hits, 5 tackles for loss, and then 10 passes defended. Credit to that secondary. Obviously, Quinn Lake, Kitchens, Darius Williams had a fantastic day. Manuel Forbes, Kobe Durant, Curl, McCullough in there, and everyone else who I'm blanking on who got playing time in that secondary. I think that was everybody. absolutely fantastic. I mean, they embarrassed the Jacksonville Jaguars with great Rams defense, and you just love to freaking see it, everyone. But okay, enough of all that fun stuff. Let's get to the nitty freaking gritty. How about that first quarter, everyone, where right away you saw Jared Verse on the first offensive play of the game for Jacksonville, or the Rams, of course. I mean, Jared Verse absolutely leaped and then sacked sacked Trevor Lawrence, excuse me. And I knew right away, okay, this front seven, this pass rush, they're going to have a good day against this Jaguars offensive line. As the week before, Seattle's D-line dominated them, and I felt that the Rams had that same opportunity. And from play one, I felt that immediately. And then, hey, Jaguars go 3-and-out, punt, and here's where the fireworks begin. Rams get the ball back. You see some tight end involvement immediately. I mean, oh, what a great thing to see, everyone. And let's pull this one up. Shout out to Nate Tice on Twitter. Actually, does a lot of analytical stuff and finds cool data. The Rams have already used more 13 personnel. For everyone out there who's not sure what that means, that means one running back, 3 tight ends. That's the 1 and 3 in the 3, or in the 13, excuse me. 1 wide receiver. I think that's a typo there he's got there. So 13 personnel, real quick, everyone. 1 running back, 3 tight ends, 1 wide receiver. And the Rams use that against the Jags more than they have in the last, 21, 22, 4 years, as they only did that 6 times in 4 years. And they did it way more than that, at least 8 snaps up until this tweet here. And I'm sure it's way more. I'll look at the film and see the exact snap count. But isn't that insane, everyone? 3 tight end groupings was used more in this one game today than Sean McVay had ever deployed it in the last 4 years combined. Many of you, including myself, and I've been a big proponent of this, we needed more diversity in the playbook, in the scheme, in the personnel groupings, and immediately from this first offensive drive, we saw it. You see catches being made by Colby Parkinson. You see Tyler Higbee make catches. And obviously Kyron's running well, et cetera, et cetera. You see Davis Allen making catches on this first drive. Higbee again. And I'm like, oh my God, tight ends getting involved. This is what we've needed for years, it feels like. And I know Higbee's been hurt a lot of these years or banged up. But despite all that, it was great to see. And then we get a big 4th down conversion by Matthew Stafford as he kind of sidearms it to Kyron Williams. And yeah, credit to Kyron. I've been saying as well, he needs to be more involved in the passing game. And he had a big catch there, got tons of yardage on that 4th and 3. Then we see a couple incompletions, right, where we're like, oh, man. But luckily, there's some penalties on defenders in Jacksonville, PI, holding, unnecessary roughness, and all that, et cetera, et cetera. And then, oh, baby, one of the rookies finally pops through and contributes in a big way on offense for this team. And Konate Mumfield has his first touchdown reception of his career. And what a freaking fantastic throw that was. I'm going to have to see on film exactly if that was a no look. I know on the replay and even just watching it live in the moment, Matthew Stafford kind of gave that classic looking to his right or left. I was to his right. Kind of gave like that sidearm / no look. I think it was a no look just based on some replays that I've seen. I'll look at the film. But, I mean, an elite throw by Matthew, a great play on 2nd and goal. I really like the bunch condensed formation and getting, Mumfield kind of snuck into the back of the end zone there. Great catch. And it was fun to see the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration where, he does like that 360 and kind of like flexes and everyone's like, sweet. That was fun to see. So immediately I'm like, oh my God, this is what we needed. Tight ends involved, formation diversity, get more guys other than just Puka and Devontae in or involved to get this passing game diverse, good, successful. And what a shock, everyone. It takes Puka Nacua to have an ankle injury and not playing a game for Sean McVay to change his game plan. And I'm happy it happened. And we saw a good drive there. And then, hey, Jacksonville gets the ball back, doesn't do jack till he squat. Some bad passes, some bad drops too. Rams get the ball back again in this first quarter. And then Colby Parkinson again getting involved. More tight end action. Devontae Adams having a nice catch, right? Xavier Smith getting involved. That's another guy getting in on the action, catching passes for this Rams team. And then a nice, fantastic Davante Adams vintage red zone touchdown where, oh, guys, if you had the vision for Davante when he signed with this team, it was for plays like this, right? A short 2-yard pass, fade, but right side, just totally mossed the dude, got him in the corner. An absolutely elite throw by Matthew Stafford to the right back pylon, where I guess it really wasn't a moss, but he just totally shimmy shaked him at the line of scrimmage, and it was just a thing of beauty. And we're up 14-0 at that point in the first quarter. I was like, oh man, just keep it up, keep this momentum going, Sean McVay. Spread it out, get other guys rotating and involved. Obviously, these tight ends and Davante, of course. But it was a thing of beauty, and I love seeing that in the first quarter, a dominant first quarter. And I was so freaking happy to see this offense look good for once in the start of a game, right, everyone? So, hey, we jump to the second quarter, and Jacksonville has a nice drive, right? 9-yard pass there. Travis Etienne's getting a decent run. They're just chucking away, right? 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards. They're getting some momentum going, right? Then, hey, we see Nate Landman get a sack. That was pretty cool to see. And that guy is just freaking everywhere. What an awesome pickup he was at the beginning of this season for pennies on the dollar, right? Veteran minimum, $1 million, 1.5, 2 million, maybe. Yeah, he's awesome. And then running it. Rams are doing a great job stopping Travis Etienne, which is one of my keys to victory. They had to sell out to stop Travis Etienne and the run game. As I thought, put it on Trevor Lawrence's shoulder and see if he can beat you. And to this point, he had another incomplete to Travis Hunter. You see more wobbly passes. I know it was raining and all that, but it just wasn't all there at this point in the game for the Jaguars in the passing game. So they have to punt it away. Rams get the ball back. They have some issues of their own. They have some incompletions. People are slipping and sliding. Then, hey, luckily, thank God, everyone. Jacksonville looks like they score a punt return touchdown. I was like, oh, there's the freaking special teams I was worried about blowing a big play. But luckily, it was nullified by an illegal block in the back. And at that point, I was like, oh my gosh, the football gods are blessing us because these damn special teams, everyone for the Rams, they're just not good or they're just not consistent. However you want to slice it and dice it. They've lost this team 2 games where the Rams should sneakily be undefeated right now if blocking, kicking, punt return, kick return coverage was all just average or better. So we got pretty lucky on that one. And fortunately, again, block in the back, nothing bad happened. Thank freaking God. So, hey, Jaguars get the ball. They're getting some big chunk yardage finally, right? Patrick's catching big passes. You got the tight end, Hunter Long, former Ram, making some big catches as well. Brian Thomas Jr. is getting involved finally. And then a big drop by Brian Thomas Jr. on a 3rd and 3. And this was the theme of the day for the Jaguars, wasn't it? Rams were playing good defense, but man, these Jaguars pass catchers had a hard time catching and holding on to the football in this, quote unquote, rainy weather out there or wet weather in England. But they had an opportunity, couldn't do it. And speaking of special teams, their good kicker missed it. Man, I could not believe it. As this dude was borderline setting records and he misses, a 50-yard field goal, which he had been making tons throughout the season. So Rams catch a big break there in the middle of that second quarter, which I was like, whew, things are just going our way. And I was happy to see that. So here we go. Rams start cooking again. You see, get a big run by Kyron. I was happy to see him, get involved a little more in the ground game. You see, hey, big penalties again by this Jaguar secondary, which was, hey, free yardage for the Rams offense. We'll take it, right? Then you see a great pass to Davante Adams on 1st and 10, 16-yard, where it was just on the money. You see another big chunk play to Colby Parkinson. And what was it? Oh, my gosh, everyone, finally a tight end screen. It feels like it has been forever since we've seen tight ends get involved in the screen game. And Colby should have scored on that. I know for a bigger guy, I wish he would bulldoze people a little bit more, but that's just not his game. So be it. But hey, looked like a touchdown. I was like, yeah, man, freaking tight ends. He's down at the 1 yard line. And then Devontae Adams on the next play has an absolutely beautiful one-hand grab in the back of the end zone. I like the play call. I like the design of it. It was another condensed formation, right? Everyone's tight together. Heavy run look. And then Stafford just kind of threw it out there like, all right, I'm going to aim for that kind of goalpost area. And then Devontae Adams is just a red zone savant. He just gets open in the end zone, everyone. It's crazy to see on a weekly basis. Snags it, brings it in. I was like, oh my God, we are cooking today with the play calling and the diversity. Again, everyone, the diversity on offense. It's beautiful. This will make the Rams a legit Super Bowl contender if they're not already that in your eyes. I needed to see it. I need to see more of it. But if they can play this good on offense, tight ends involved, good play calling, unique and diverse play calling, formations, etc., this team can absolutely beat anybody and win a Super Bowl championship. So at this point in the game, everyone, I mean, we're second quarter. It's freaking 21-0. This is a Jacksonville defense who has had good moments. They're not perfect at all, but they're absolutely getting abused by Matthew Stafford. And again, good execution, good play calling, and things are just going so freaking well at this point. So Jacksonville gets the ball back. They get, multiple incompletions, but hey, Brian Thomas Jr. finally erupts, gets a big 24, 25-yard pass. And I'm like, all right, and they finally got us on that. Quinn Lake has a big hit where he makes Hunter Long fumble, and I'm like, ooh, damn, too bad somebody wasn't there to get it. And hey, Trevor Lawrence is chucking away, right? You got a 9-yard pass there, 11-yard pass there, et cetera. Then, hey, the Rams did another great job holding Travis Etienne to minimal yardage. That was my key to victory. They were doing it thus far in the game, and I was like, awesome. Then another one, incomplete short to Travis Hunter on a big 3rd and 7 where they're in the red zone pushing that area. And I'm thinking, ooh, that could have been another completion there, everyone. So Liam Cohen says, screw that, man. We are not kicking a field goal. We have to get a touchdown here. And I totally get it. I understand Kurt Warner's thoughts about, hey, you just got to get something positive, get points, take the points. But when you're down 21-0 against an opponent who's absolutely cooking on the opposite side on their offense, I totally buy into the point for Jacksonville to go for it. And, that was a couple minutes left. And Trevor Lawrence, no one's open. Secondary is doing a good job. And he scrambles for it. And I'm thinking, ooh, is he going to get it? But nope. Our freaking nature, Jared Verse says, absolutely, you will not get this first down. Gets him from behind, shoves him down. Trevor's not even debatable, short of the first down. And at that point, I'm like, holy crap, we are absolutely smoking this squad right now. And I thought in my head, everyone, 2 minutes, that is plenty of time for Matthew Stafford and co. to cook, get a 2-minute drill, get some points. They had plenty of timeouts, whether it would be a field goal or a hopeful touchdown drive. I was like, that's plenty of time. But hey, Kyron Williams gets a really good run on 1st and 10 there, 9 yards. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. Gets another 5-yard run on 2nd and 1. And I'm thinking, okay, let's go. Let's get a field goal. Let's just get some type of points. But Sean McVay was comfortable with just taking a knee, letting time run out. And I'm like, truthfully, I didn't like that. I thought the offense was just hitting on so many great cylinders at that point. And I think, why are we just being so conservative where points are a premium in any game, whether you're winning 21-zip or you're in a 3-3 ball game like it was against Baltimore the week before? I didn't like it. I didn't agree with it. I was unhappy to see them just kind of concede and say, hey, we're up 21-0. We'll take it. No, you got to put the throat of your opponents in the dirt, step on it, and keep stepping on it until there is all zeros in the 4th quarter and the game is over. So I didn't like that. And so be it. We're up 21-0. There's a lot to feel good about at that point going into the half. But again, I wanted to see them 2-minute drill and get some type of points, even if it was just a field goal attempt, at least try to add on to this lead. But it is what it is. They didn't do that. So we jumped to the 3rd quarter, everyone. I'm feeling great. Hopefully you were too early in the morning with this game. And hey, Rams get the ball back to start the second half, but they didn't do Jack Tilly squad with it. have a nice run there, and then they have a couple incompletions, some penalty yardage. They just couldn't get anything going. Stafford, some balls in the passing game got away from him, and they have to punt. And then Jacksonville gets it back. Okay, I'm thinking, all right, defense, let's hold on. And this is where Jacksonville starts to get some things going. They have some, 10-yard pass here, 11-yard pass there. You get some lame PI. It's just like, what are we doing, everyone? Was it really PI? So they get lucky with that, right? And then, hey, Jaguars are not able to complete passes. Trevor Lawrence is off. People are dropping passes for the Jaguars in the pass catcher department. It was really, really crazy to see this be a constant theme for them. And the Rams got lucky on a lot of big moments where they could not complete it. Trevor was missing dudes, or they couldn't catch it. And this drive was no different, honestly. And so they decide to go for it on 4th and short. Again, totally get that. They're down 21-0. They need touchdowns in a hurry. So on 4th and 2, De'Ami Brown, it wouldn't have been an easy catch in my opinion, but another missed opportunity where they easily could have converted that, and the Rams get another turnover on downs. Man, Jacksonville really just continued to shoot themselves in the foot, and I was like, thank God they are just playing horrible today on offense. So with all that, I'm thinking, okay, let's get the ball back. Let's just keep squeezing them. But the Rams don't do Jack Tilly squat again in this third quarter. They have a couple completions to extend the drive. They're not running the ball with much success. And then on Devontae Adams on the deep pass, they miss. They can't connect Stafford to Devontae, and they got to punt again. And I was like, oh, my God. They left all the good stuff in that first half, I see. So Jacksonville gets the ball back again. And immediately, De'Ami Brown has a huge, you remember, deep down on the left side of the field, a big 40-yard pass. I'm like, gosh dang it. They're going to start getting their act together. Toonen has a nice run. Trevor Lawrence has a big chunk run play for about, 15 yards or so. And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. But here we go. More miscues, more drops from Jacksonville. And I was happy to see that, as he couldn't connect with Brian Thomas. He couldn't connect with Travis Hunter. And they say, we got to go for it and get points again on this 4th down. Totally get it. And they have an incomplete short to Travis Hunter there, which, again, they were not on the same page, and the Rams benefited from that greatly. So another turnover on downs for this Rams defense. They held strong, but again, lucky. Let's call what it is. If the Jaguars were able to make a few catches here and there on these critical downs, the game maybe not has been, or may not have been, such a big ass kicking, right? But so be it. They couldn't make the plays. We were benefiting from it. And Rams defense was doing enough to force them in those 4th down situations. But hey, Rams get the ball back again. And again, they can't do anything with it. And I'm just like, oh my God, we're just wasting away these opportunities where Jacksonville continues to shoot themselves in the foot, right? Get penalties, cannot hit Xavier Smith on that 3rd down play. Jaguars get the ball back, but luckily they couldn't do Jack Tilly's squat. You got Quinn Lake on a safety blitz sacking them, or sacking Trevor Lawrence. And then they're in 3rd and 23. Take another sack by, Byron Young / Nate Landman. I'm like, all right. Thank God our defense is elite. Thank God this front 7 is elite. And thank God all the DBs are playing good football. So Jacksonville's got to put in it again. And then the Rams get it. They can't do Jack Tilly's squad. Try to run the ball. Try to connect with Tyler Higbee short. That's the one that missed kind of in the middle of the field where everyone slipped. And I was like, gosh, dang it, guys. Why can't we get a drive going in this 3rd quarter? But luckily, Rams defense is elite. Jacksonville gets the ball back. They have penalties. Trevor Lawrence cannot connect with anybody. Incomplete. And then they got to punt it back. And I'm like, man, we are freaking lucky. So now we jump to the 4th quarter, everyone. After a stressful 3rd where it was all defense for both teams. And luckily, Rams defense was benefiting from a lot of miscues on 4th down for the Jags. And here we go. A drive that finally starts to make everyone feel a lot better about the Rams offense in the second half, right? You start off with a short yard pass to Kyron. You get another nice screen, kind of like swing screen where everyone's kind of lead blocking, but it's a quick pass to the outside of Jordan Whittington. That will go in for 9 yards. That was nice, 1st down. You see Xavier Smith get involved again. Matthew Stafford gets sacked by, Josh Hines Allen, where I was like, oh no. But luckily, there was a holding penalty on Jacksonville. Again, shooting themselves in the foot. Rams get a first down. I'm thinking, oh my God, we're alive. Thank you, Jacksonville, for playing worse than us. Couple incompletions, but luckily there was a neutral zone infraction on that 4th and 5, kind of really like 5.5, really, where you saw Steve Avila draws the offside. Again, for that to be a penalty, the defense has to cross the line of scrimmage, right? But then offensive linemen have to react to it. So Steve Avila says, no problem. Absolutely shoves Hines Allen out of the way. And he has that nice little leap and kind of shimmy shake first down celebration. I thought that was pretty funny, pretty cool. You don't see linemen celebrating a ton. And hey, shout out to you, Steve Avila. He likes to celebrate a ton with our guys for stuff like that, or even touchdown celebrations. So there we go. And I thought it would be a first down, but it really was like 5.5, not necessarily a complete 5. So on 4th and 1, and this was a play call that I enjoyed. Why? Because everyone on Planet Earth thought, for the Jaguars, how many times have the Rams ran it on 4th and 1 this year? A lot of those play calls I didn't agree with. I thought you fake the run and throw off it. I think that's how you fool a defense who's all clogged up in the middle, worrying about the run. And it was a beautiful play design. You get a run fake, play action boot by Stafford, a naked boot, right? Where there's no one lead blocking for him to help, protect himself as he's rolling out. And it was one of those classic Stafford throws, everyone, where he's rolling out to one direction. He totally whips his body around to his normal throwing stance, and then he launches it. I mean, how many times have we seen that from Matthew Stafford, and a great play is made by him throwing the football? So when I saw that, I was like, oh, he's going to throw it deep. Immediately before I saw Ferguson on the deep post, and I see the ball in the air, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this has a chance on 4th and 1. And finally, Terrence Ferguson, another rookie, catching his first touchdown pass of his career as a Ram as well. And it was great to see him get involved. I mean, that is Terrence Ferguson's quote-unquote superpower, right? Every player has a superpower. Terrence Ferguson's is his receiving ability. That is why the Rams drafted him with the first pick of this last draft, the second round. And why they all, whether it's 100% true or not, I guess we'll never really find out. But you hear a lot of rumors like, oh, Rams would have taken Terrence Ferguson in the first round if they would have stood put. And how true is that or not? Again, we'll never know. But I'm glad to see Ferguson get involved. He had a big catch against the Niners. He has the ability to be a difference maker in the passing game as a tight end. And yes, shout out to Colby, shout out to Davis, shout out to Higbee for having really good catches up until that point. But this is the difference-making guy in that tight end room in the passing game, and we saw it on full display on a 4th and 1 play call where he was the primary read. I love it. I love the design. I loved using him as the main guy, as he totally just outran the safety. Again, this is Terrence Ferguson's superpower, and we need to see more of it. And if we do, I think this Rams offense will continue to look good, great, elite, whatever name you want to attach it. So that was awesome. And at that point, everyone, we're up 28-0. And I'm like, okay, everyone, let's just please hold it down the fort. Let's just get out of this game healthy. Let's not blow this. And on the very next drive, Jacksonville gets it back, and they finally have a decent drive where they get it together, right? Josiah Stewart, shout out to another rookie. He gets a sack, and I'm thinking, all right, let's just wipe the floor with these guys and call it a day. But hey, Travis Hunter has a big 20-plus yard completion or pass catch. I'm thinking, gosh dang it. Then you see Washington have another big 25-yard catch. And I'm like, gosh dang it, everyone. And then a couple plays later, Travis Hunter scores on a 34-yard touchdown as the DBs, the secondary, just could not stay with him. He catches it. There was a penalty by Quinn Lake for illegal contact as he was on him. And it was just a great throw and catch by Lawrence to Hunter. And Hunter's a unique player. I mean, hey, shout out to former Rams executive Gladstone for identifying him and wanting him. He's been a good player for them offensively and defensively. And then finally, he explodes. And of course, it was on us. But I was like, gosh dang it, everyone. Of course, it had to be in that moment after I feel like we're really going to shut them out. That would have been pretty cool. But Jacksonville gets their touchdown, their lone touchdown of the game. And at that point, I'm like, dang it, dang it, dang it. So Rams get the ball back, get some good runs, right? We get A nice run by Blake Corum here. You get another nice run by Blake Corum there. Then there's a big penalty, right? We get a delay a game. You don't see that with Matthew Stafford at the helm. And I was like, dang it, what the heck happened on that? But luckily, luckily, out of the shotgun. And I like that we're starting to run the ball more out of the shotgun, by the way. As Kyron Williams converted that 3rd and 7, he gets 9 yards on that. And I think there's so many times, and this goes back to my point of offensive diversity, 99% of the time it feels like before this game, Matthew Stafford and the offense are lined up in the shotgun. It's always a pass play. Always. A run play every once in a blue moon. And today, including that run, I saw a lot more play action out of the shotgun. I saw a lot more runs out of the shotgun. And I think that's good balance and good diversity where I'm sure defense were like, oh, when Matthew Stafford in the shotgun, it's going to be pass. And that was the case 99% of the time, I felt like. But today, we saw a lot more runs out of the shotgun, which has got to keep defenses honest. And I think that really helped keep the Jaguars defense guessing. And they convert on that 3rd and 7 there. Then he gets some more good runs by Blake, et cetera, et cetera. Some timeouts are taken by Jacksonville, right? They're trying to save some time and all that. And on 3rd and 6, Davante Adams gets targeted, but luckily Lewis has a penalty for the Jaguars defense, and we get a fresh set of downs. And I'm thinking, all right, let's get the 30 points. Let's get above this. Let's put them in the dirt. You get a couple runs, a couple incompletions, where luckily a roughing the passer was called. And I'm thinking, oh, baby, thank goodness on that 3rd and goal situation. And then again, for the 3rd time, Davante Adams hat trick. And in this one, he really did moss him, as it was another one-on-one situation where Matthew Stafford threw it up. It was a catchable pass in a good location. And Davante Adams said, I don't care what corner you put on me today. I'm mossing dudes. I'm beating you one-on-one in this end zone. And he did that again, as we got another fun Cristiano Ronaldo team celebration where it was a celebration where he kind of jumps up and flexes and with his arms down where the sui. And Davante did it with all teammates, Steve Avila, all the other linemen, other pass catchers. And at that point, I'm like, my goodness, if this could be what the Rams offense does every game going forward, this team will be elite in all aspects, offense, defense, and if special teams doesn't have to be put in long field goal attempts, less stress on Cardi, less stress on the unit. They can play more freely, blocking on field goal / PAT. And then, hey, good on Cardi. He made all his PATs. Woof. Thank God. No blocking errors. Woof. Thank God. And at that point, everyone, I was like, all right, this is what we all need to see. This is what I wanted to see. And thank freaking God. And Jaguars get the ball back, right? This is their last opportunity to just kind of not be held to one score. They get some chunk yardage, right? It's all just obvious passing situations. They can't complete the pass. On a 4th and 10, they complete one to Travis Hunter. He gets about 15, 16 yards. I'm like, gosh, dang it. More completions. And then, hey, Laryl Murchison always getting, a big play every once in a while. It feels like for this Rams team with limited playing time. He gets a big sack on 2nd and 6. Trevor Lawrence has got a pass deep, misses it. And then another short pass to De'Ami Brown. They cannot complete it. I mean, they were just so freaking off that whole game. And by that point, Rams get the ball back. Take a knee. See you later. We whooped you. And I'm so happy that the Rams won this game, everyone. But again, what are the biggest keys to this that we all saw? It is this offense, the diversity, the multitude of guys who were involved. I mean, let's read this list here, everyone. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful with how many people caught a freaking pass today. I love it. Let's pull this up here. So again, quick reminder, Matthew Stafford threw 5 touchdowns, only threw for 182 yards. The run game really wasn't all that. As a total, only 89 rushing yards, right? Kyron only had 54. Blake had 37. The attempts weren't there. Only 29 carries on the ground for anyone in this game. So be it when the passing attack was working so well. So you have a reception from Colby Parkinson. You have a multiple reception, or let me back up on that. 3 catches for Colby Parkinson, 5 for Davante Adams, and 3 touchdowns. Crazy. Terrence Ferguson, 1 catch for a touchdown. Tyler Higbee's got 3 catches. You got Xavier Smith with 2, Kyron Williams for 2, Jordan Whittington for 2, Blake Corum with 1, Konate Mumfield 1 for a touchdown. Davis Allen's got a catch too. So, guys, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different Rams caught a pass from Matthew Stafford today. 4 of them were tight ends. All 4 tight ends caught a pass today. Almost every receiver caught a pass today, or actually all of them too. Devontae Adams, Whittington, Konate, and Xavier Smith. And no Tutu. I think, unfortunately, yes, I am right. Not every wide receiver. I think he re-injured his hamstring in that first quarter, which is why you didn't see a ton of them. Hopefully he gets healed up in the bye week. That he is a critical piece to this offense, even if he doesn't get targeted a bunch, which he needs more targets. If we can have 10 plus guys get involved in the passing game every week, everyone, this offense will be good, will be great, will be elite. And it's crazy. It took Puka Nacua having his ankle injury and not playing in this game for McVay, the coaching staff on offense, to get a game plan together, said, we need to spread the ball out. Let's not be so Puka heavy because he's not available. And it was a beautiful thing to see. Offensive formations, offensive play calling, diversity in the passing game, the play design, the run game stuff out of shotgun I really liked. And what a great feeling for this offense heading into the bye week with hopefully a healthy Puka Nacua coming out of that and a clear picture for Sean McVay, Mike LaFleur, and this coaching staff on offense to say, hey, we can be great with everyone involved. It doesn't have to be force-fed to Puka Nacua. And that is a great thing to see. And again, defense absolutely just dominating. And again, getting a little lucky with some big drops, some big incompletions and missed throws by Trevor Lawrence on critical 3rd and 4th downs. But so be it. They can execute it. Rams forced them into those situations. And it was a great thing to see. I mean, we've been saying for weeks, I have, Mark, and I'm sure many of you have realized this Rams defense ain't perfect, but it's a top 5 unit. I don't even think that's debatable. And that is what we all expected. And I'm glad to see that come to fruition. So, I mean, you got Cam Curl with 10 total tackles, Nate Landman with 9 and, 1.5 sacks, Quinn Lake with 6 and multiple passes defended and his own sack, right? Cameron Kitchens, Manuel Forbes Jr., Jalen McCullough, Troy Reader, Kobe Turner, Josiah Stewart, Omar. I mean, there were so many guys getting tackles in this game and getting involved. And shout out to Darius Williams one more time. I think he's been looking really good these last couple of weeks. He looked real impressive. He looked like 2020 Darius Williams, where he's always smacking passes out of the air and playing tight coverage. I think he's really rounding in the form. And I'm glad to see this defense look more comfortable, be dominant, be ass kickers. And what a great feeling, everyone, heading into this bye week. In case you have not realized, the Rams, despite all the kicking issues, have the potential to be a great team, to be an elite team. And I think what we saw today out there in a foreign nation, right? Can they play this way in the United States of America? I hope so. I think they can. But man, everyone, whether you are here in LA up early like I was and Mark, whether you're on the East Coast and you didn't have to get up as early, or whether you were in the Western Hemisphere, the Northern Hemisphere, the South, the East, or you were physically out there in London, England at Wembley Stadium. Shout out to all you guys. You're good juju. Whether you want to believe it or not, your good juju, I'm sure, had something to do with the Rams beating those Jacksonville Jaguars convincingly in a dominant fashion out there today. So that was pretty dang cool to see. But hey, everyone, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everyone having the patience to wait around for us for this post-game reaction to get uploaded later this afternoon instead of right after the game early in the morning. Both me and Mark had some obligations to handle. So, hey, shout out to you guys for tuning in. Again, if you're on YouTube, hey, like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. And if you're on the audio only or podcast only side of things, share this audio podcast with all your fellow Rams fans out there. And any of those options, guys, helps other Rams fans to see our content. And again, me, Mark, we very much appreciate everyone. But, oh, baby, Rams, 5-2 going into the bye week. Things are looking good. They can still win the NFC West. They can still clinch a number 1 seed if they handle business this second half of the season, and they have the ability to do it. But will they? I guess that's the fun of watching Rams football every Sunday. But you got to feel good after this victory Sunday, going into victory Monday, everyone. So, hey, whether you are here on YouTube or audio only, thanks again. Rep your Rams. Talk your crap to all your fellow other football fans and say, hey, my Rams dominated on that Sunday morning. Go Rams, everyone.